Hello, everybody. Welcome to Lessons with Lindsey Live. While we wait for our special guest, of course, I have to shout out my brands of the week. Today, I am rocking my A Whole Vibe period sweatshirt from Brenton and my lensless glasses, wrapped glasses from Malawi Head Wrap. So you make sure you check them out. They will be tagged in the comments below. But yes, happy Wednesday. How are we doing today, you guys? How is life? How are things? Yes. Today, I have a very special guest. And while we wait for him to hop on, I just want to kind of tell you guys, this is like, this is somebody I look up to personally. Just everything that he's done, his longevity, the business, just top notch, little top notch. And so I am super excited for you all to hear his story, to get insight from him, because he drops knowledge every time I have the privilege of being in the same room with him. He speaks life. If you follow him on any social media, you know he's about helping people. He's about the people for the people. So it's just an all around, he's just like an all around good dude. So I'm super excited and I'm waiting for him. Mr. Joshua, aka Innovative Twist, or if you're me, I just say twist real loud for no reason. It works. But yes. There we go. Hello, Mr. Sir. Let me bring you on. Twist!
Hey,
How are you?
rushing to get home was like, oh, yeah, go.
Yes. I just did a quick intro. I wanted you to tell the people who you are because no one can explain who you are better than you. So, floor is yours, and then we're going to get into this good conversation.
Wait, me introduce myself? I'm so humble. I'm just a print guy. You know what I mean?
But you are so much more.
So I'm Josh. Everybody knows me as Innovative Twist. I have a print company, Innovative Twist. I launching a nonprofit called Kids in Biz, where we want to teach kids entrepreneurship and break some cycles while we're doing it.
Yes.
And I'm a family man. So
Most definitely.
that's me. I don't even know what else to say.
That's it. That's perfect. Twist, I swear you are the epitome of branding. Like every time I see you, you're rocking your brand. You wear it proudly. You wear it bold with the bright colors. Like you are a walking billboard. You live what you do. You know what I'm saying? And I think that is so important, especially for new entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs, to understand that once you have your brand, that you walk that thing, you talk that thing. Like people need to know who you are and what you do, and you do it so flawlessly. Like you incorporated it into the hats, into the shirts, into the everything, the shoes.
He's like,
I
really gonna wear that again? I'm like, yep. Where I go.
and I love it because people know who you are. Like they can spot you a mile away, and that's so perfect. I mean, it's the point, you know. If people don't know who you are and what you do,
Yeah, and I mean, I remember like 2 weeks ago, I was in the bank, and they were like, "What do you do?" Because they seen my shirt and my hat and my mask, so everything matches. And they're like, "Oh," I was like, "Oh, I own a print and a graphics company, and I'm also launching a nonprofit called Kids in Biz." And from there, I got 2 sales on the print side, and I got kids interested in the Kids in Biz. You know, so it was like it does its job. You know,
exactly.
we ran into these 2 kids, and they came Monday, for a meeting with us, and they had their logo. They had their logo on their shirts, and I said, that's perfect. That's how you brand. I want you to wear that every time you go somewhere, no matter where you're at. Always wear your brand, because people are going to be curious what that is, and that
Exactly.
sales come.
That exactly. If you find a niche, if you find something that works for you, like for me, it used to be the hair. I always had bright crazy colored hair, and people would be so curious as to what kind of job do you have with purple hair, with green hair. Oh, I'm so glad you asked because I work for myself, but let me tell you about my business. You know, it was a marketing tool. It was a branding idea, and it didn't start out that way. But once I realized people were curious about it, I'm like, might as well use it as a segue to pitch my business.
Sure, yep. It's an
So
easy conversation.
right, whatever you can get, whatever gets people asking questions will always work. So I know your story. I know how you got started in a transition, but I would like for you to kind of share that for a second with the people.
So let's see. I started back in 2005. I got out the military, couldn't get a job doing IT work, which is what I did in the Navy, just because I didn't have college. I had all the Navy experience, but I just didn't have college. So I didn't know what I was going to do. I mean, I remember, I think I tried like the home healthcare stuff where I was like changing grown adults. I tried the call center stuff. At that time, I just had a baby, just got out. I'm like, what am I going to do? Like, the transition out of military there isn't one really.
Right.
What do so I ended up just getting a job working at Kinko's, learned the print game. From there, I went and worked for somebody for like a year. Then I decided, you know what, I'm gonna do this for myself. My first day, I made $5,000, never looked back since. So from 2005 till today, I'm still doing the same thing, but I noticed that it evolved. It started where it was just, I have to take care of my family. I'm doing this for money. I enjoyed it. It was something new, but when I look at it today, it's a whole different story. Like, it's not even about printing anymore to me. Now I look at it and I'm like, okay, let me see how I can help you be more successful. So let's talk about your brand. Let's talk about if you know who your target audience is. Because if you don't know that stuff, you're just wasting money with me. So
Right.
I don't want you to waste your money with me. I want to make sure that when you come to me, I'm helping you make money.
Mm-hmm.
So customers will come in, they're ready to spend money, and then they got to leave because they got homework to do because they don't know who their target audience. This is the basics of business. The most important part of business is branding, period.
Mm-hmm.
Because without branding, you don't have sales, you don't have communications, you don't have marketing, you don't have none of that. What the branding side of things, it tells you what the pain points you're hitting. It tells you your core messages that you're always going to speak on. It tells you who your target is. It tells you, the customer experience. Once you can nail that down, you will always make money. But if you don't nail that down and you assume everybody's your client, then you're losing money with advertising. So your marketing dollars are literally going to waste because you're literally hitting 1 out of 20 people. Where if you knew who you were hitting, you're hitting 20 out of 20. Because all my messaging speaks to you because I know that's who I want.
Right. So do you think that you kind of transitioning into this almost like consultant has helped like with your longevity? Because that's something that I've always admired about you as well. Like, you've been in the game for a minute and you've been consistent with it. Yeah, like, overall there's always high and low points, but you've been consistently in the game for since 2005. That's 16 years, so like, do you think that that shift helped with your business, or what do you think really helped sustain you all this time?
That I love giving back, honestly. If I had to say what helped me be who I am and where I'm at today, is still the fact that I always give back and I always care and I'm always giving away stuff because I want people to succeed. That's always been a part of me. The coaching stuff is new. That has definitely been taken off where we're coaching and doing the hope that you can be more successful. So we went from running. Now I do I've always done coaching though. Nobody wants to call right now. I've always done coaching where you come in and I'm asking you these questions because I need to know how I got to design your stuff and I got to make sure we're hitting the right market. So I need to know these things. If you don't tell me these, I'm not doing my job.
Right.
So now the end of last year, we started transitioning into the branding side of things. Now I can brand you in 45 to 60 days where we do everything though. I'm going to sit there and I'm going to pick your brain and we're going to figure out why you're doing what you do, who your audience is, We're going to do your website. We're going to do your brand photo shoot. We're going to do everything, your logo, everything, the way it's supposed to be done. People jump into business because they're tired of working for someone and think they can do it better. Yeah, you probably could, but you never realize about all the stuff that you got to do to run a business. And that's
Right.
where they get drained, and that's where they drop the ball.
Hmm.
No, there's a lot to business. I mean, I've been 16 years, and there's times I want to quit. Like it's a lonely place. And it's just not easy. You literally, there's days you're like, I don't even want to get out of bed, especially COVID. Like when COVID hit, printing stopped, right? That's all I've done for 16 years that generates me money. So we're like, whoa, what's going on? Like,
Hmm.
what do we do now? So I had to look at how am I going to do things different. And it was just a scary moment in life where it's like, and then I think I had my midlife crisis. Like, I'm like, do I still want to do this? Do I still want to print? Do I still want to work late hours? Because you can call me. And I just got off the phone with a customer literally before I answered this, got on the IG. I was on the phone with a new person. And that's just who I am. I'm not a shop where you can come to a counter, place your jobs, pay, and you leave. No, I care. So let's talk about how I can help you and how you can grow. Like when COVID hit, we gave away the print. Literally, I was doing it at cost, and other print shops were mad. I'm like, why y'all mad? You don't understand. If I don't do that and they don't promote, they're not here when we get back.
Right.
I'm trying to keep them from not disappearing. So I'm going to give it to you. I'm not even making money. I'm losing money too, because it's COVID. But I don't want to see all these businesses go down the drain because they work so hard, especially the ones that have been around for so long.
Hmm.
Why wouldn't I try to help? We didn't know how long it was going to be. It could have been a month, 2 months, and we're just giving it away because if you're not here, if you left today because you can't do it, how long is it going to take you to get back to where you were?
Right.
Because now you got to get a 9 to 5 because we're backed up on bills. Your passion isn't there right now because your mind isn't there.
And that's a thing about you that I've always I admire so much about you. I don't know if you know or not, but there's so much about you that I admire that I watch and I like peep and I'm like, oh yeah, I like that. I like that he does this. And I was having a conversation on Monday and I said that, you never lose from giving. You
Exactly.
only gain, and even if that in that moment you feel like you lost, like, oh dang, I just gave away $100 worth of stuff. I'm like, okay, but look, because that person's gonna come right back to you in 2 weeks ready to spend double that or triple that. Like, you just help them in their time of need, and that's something that they will never forget. And so when they come back to you with the money, they gonna give it to you. They're not gonna ask no questions
Because they know you care.
exactly.
Right. And another thing, like people are scared. I got to plug it up before I die, but people are scared of giving away stuff for free. Right. What I realized, one of the things I do is I'll go into a store, right? Or let's use Maggie McFly's down at Virginia Beach by the mall. It's a restaurant, right?
Yeah.
And we walked in there. I didn't like the comment cards or the business cards. They were just horrible. It's a brand new restaurant. Your graphics are horrible. So I grabbed it. I went back to the office, designed it, printed some up, took some back, and was like, here, these are your new comment cards, business cards. Let me know when you're ready to order more, right? Right on the spot, they're like, listen, we're ready to order more, but let me send this to corporate so that you can get the other 5 stores. And I lock them in. I did it with a jewelry store. I do it all the time because it shows that people aren't telling you about yourself. I got to tell you about yourself. Most people want to attract high-paying customers, right? But your graphics look like you just paid a toddler to do your graphics. So who do you think you're really going to get?
Right. You got to look
You're
the
not
part
getting a
through and
customer,
through.
right? You're not getting a customer that's going to spend $30. You're getting the one that's going to spend $5, and they're going to try to Jew you down on the price because your graphics look like you don't care about your business. So
And
you
people, I
have
don't
to,
think they
everything has to connect.
realize that too. Like your business cards, your marketing material, everything that you carry. And real quick, side note, business cards are not played out. Business
No,
cards are not a thing of the past. Business cards are something that you have to have because you're going to come across the wrong person or the right person who wants all the smoke, who wants all of the business, who wants to invest, but you can't say, oh yeah, here's this QR code. Oh yeah, just look me up on Facebook. I don't do that. Where's your business card?
yeah,
They want items. They want something in their hand, something they can make a quick note on. Call Lindsey at 4 o'clock tomorrow.
Exactly.
Business cards are so necessary. Please do not go away with these business cards. I see the little popple things and all these other gimmicks that people are trying to
Everyone's
have.
always like, I got social media, follow me. But guess what? That the algorithm doesn't allow you to see everybody who you're following. So guess what? They're not seeing your message anyways.
Exactly.
So you gotta have that personal touch anyways. Printing's not going nowhere. You know, everyone thinks printing's gonna die, but at the end of the day, how you gonna get your manuals? You know, the best way marketing is literally having a business card. Every day's an interview. I have a shirt coming out on the kids and biz side. It literally says every day's an interview. You never know who you're gonna meet and talk to when you give that business card to, right?
Exactly.
You could be my next investor, my next partner. You could be, you know, my next sponsor. I never know who I'm talking to until we have a conversation. So I have to present you with something so you don't forget me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not gonna say follow me in IG and then I forget you tomorrow because 5 other people requested me.
Exactly. What's a follow? What's a follow on any kind of social media? Unless I'm immediately in your DMs right there. Oh my gosh, it was so nice to meet you. I can't wait to connect with you. How's next week? It's for naught because you're gonna forget. You get 574 followers. You remember that one person? I don't even remember my sister's Instagram name half the time when I'm trying to tag her in a family photo. So, you know, that's dead that. If you're watching and you aspiring to be an entrepreneur, you in business, dead that. Get a business card. Twist will hook you up real fast and in a hurry. Because I've never, if no one else, I know I can call you today and be like, don't fuss, but I need this tomorrow, and you have it. Like
it's fun. I had a customer yesterday send me a message, and she sent me a screenshot of a gentleman, and he's like, for years I've wanted to start my own business, you know, and I'm finally taking that leap, right? Automatically, I'm like, yo, she's like, can we get him some business cards? I'm like, send me the design. I'm gonna give him 100 for free. Like, I'm gonna support him, you know. And I'm like, if you want to donate anything, I'll give him another 100 for $5. I said, that's $35 print job right there for $5, you know, at the end of the day, because I want people to succeed in this. This is what the world needs. This is the only way we can make a change in the world is through entrepreneurship. You know, I was on a Zoom or a Facebook Live last weekend, and we were talking about college, you know, and do I push college? And I had a realization. I don't push college. I'd rather push entrepreneurship. But I'm like changing my mind. The only exception for me is, and I had this discussion with my daughter last night because she's like, I want to be a lawyer. You got to go to college. Cool. But why do you want to be a lawyer? What problem are you solving? Mm-hmm. I said, you can be a lawyer. You know, her answer was, oh, they get paid good. Oh, you know, crazy answers that, okay, you're going to spend all this money just because they get paid good. Right. Sometimes you're overqualified and you can't even get a job at a regular low minimum wage job because you're overqualified. So I'm like, if you're going to go to college, I want you to know why you're going to college. I want you to have a plan of, this is the problem that I see in the world, but the only way for me to fix it is I need to get this education because it's going to help me fix this problem. Right. Don't go in there blind like I want to do this because they say it's a 6-7 figure job. The market might be saturated. Right. You might not get that job. So now you're stuck working at a restaurant, waitering tables just to make ends meet, and you got nothing but debt. Right. And that's where we connect so hard on, because you know how I feel about the kids, because you feel the exact same way. Yeah. And even with my students, that's something I drive often. And that's with adults too. It's the why. And, you know, I had them do a whole writing prompt. Like, what do you want to be when you grow up and why? I don't even ask that question no more. I don't say, what do you want to be? I say, who do you want to be? That's even better. Because I want to know what game changer are you going to be? Yeah. I want to be known for this, not what. No more what. It's who do you want to be? For me, it's like I wanted to drive in the point, the and why. Because you can do all these things, but the and why is so much more important. I had one student, he's like, I want to be a football player because I want to be a role model to young kids. I said, all right, boom. So you shatter your knee and you no longer are a football player. Do you still want to be a role model to young kids? And he was like, yeah. I was like, okay, that's all I care about. Because then to me, that says that even though you're not a football player anymore, you're still going to do what you need to do to be a role model to these young kids. So maybe you become a coach, or maybe you're just a community mentor, or maybe you have an after school program. The and why will always be so much more important than the what. You know, the what is irrelevant.
It's
Yeah.
the why. And that's the same thing for entrepreneurship. If you get into this, if you get into business, if you start a business for yourself, the and why is going to be what keeps you going, what keeps you fueled, what keeps you energized, even when you don't want to, even when you don't feel like it. It's like, oh, but people are counting on me. Oh, but it's so much more beyond
It
bills.
is.
It's
It's
beyond
that.
bills. It's beyond money. It's a
Yeah.
purpose. It's that heart thing. You know, I'm real big on that heart thing. I can make money doing anything.
Yeah.
You
That
know, if you
that
find something
that
you good
kid
at.
and and the thing is they need to know entrepreneurship. Every kid needs, whether you use it or not is okay. But
Mm-hmm.
knowing, because okay, you want to be a football player because you want to, be a mentor in a sense, right? Well, you need to start that business and understand who your customer is,
Mm-hmm.
right? What's the message? That's all business related. So that way, when you do hurt yourself, you're still running a business that still talks to those same things that you want to talk about. It's
Right.
never now about you. It's about your business that now you have other football players coming to do the same thing you want to do because they believe in you. The business part teaches them the skills that they need in the world. Like
Right.
in life, business is a skill that we need, right? It teaches us a lot of things. So if I can take the business stuff, I become an asset now. If I'm not an entrepreneur, I'm going to walk into business or into my own purpose, and I'm looking at things different. I'm not clocking 9 to 5. I'm looking at how can I help this business grow? How can I change a process that's not working? How can we go to the next level? I'm looking at things totally different because I
Right.
got a business mindset. I
Yep.
don't have a regular, I need a 9 to 5 just so I can pay bills.
Right. And that's a whole word in itself, because for me, that's how I realized that I was meant to be an entrepreneur. Because every job that I would get, I would find different strategies, different techniques, different ways of doing things that would improve the quality of the business. Like, why are we doing this? Why don't
Yeah.
cut that part out, do this, A, B, and C, boom, boom, boom. I would have data, receipts, like what you want to see. Like, I'm not sitting here idly. I'm not twiddling my thumbs. Oh, your numbers are low. Yeah, but look what I just did here. I can
Mm-hmm.
increase your productivity by 15% if all you do is take these 5
Because
people
we
from
just
here.
changed the process.
Right,
I analyzed your process.
right. And it
Processes are so
sucks.
important. Exactly. Like you're still in 1980. I need you to
Right,
get to 2021 because processes have changed. It can't be like the school systems that don't change. They don't change. So how do we make a difference?
right.
You got it.
You got to
We
take it
have
out.
to expose kids to everything there is in life. We don't. Most people aren't exposing their kids to entrepreneurship because they have no clue.
Right.
Their generation never taught them, and the previous generation never knew about entrepreneurship. So they're
Or never
lost. The
thought it
only
was
thing
something
they
they
have
could
in their
do.
mind, right, is you got to go to college. There's more
Mm-hmm.
than just college. We just have to educate and expose them to those things for them to understand you can make money off of what you love. Like
Right.
any crazy idea, it doesn't matter. Look at the guy who created the noodle. It's $1 million product. Who would have thought a piece of phone would make you millions of dollars?
Right. But you get that mindset when you see something and it's like, that's a solution right there. I'm like, what do you look? That's a piece of paper. It's like, no, it's not. Like, you're not seeing what I see.
No, this is the solution to the problem that I keep running across.
Exactly. This is what I needed. And you're right. I was privileged enough to grow up in a household with entrepreneurs. My parents have always said, if you don't find a job, you make a job. And that's been my mantra. That's my life. I've had
Mm-hmm.
several jobs. I've had several businesses, and I'm not even 30 yet, but it's just because I'm going to try this thing, and I'm going to try this thing, and I'm going to try that thing. And if that doesn't work, I'm going to take what I learned from that and apply it to the next thing. And
Listen, failure equals greatness. All
it's
those
every
losses propelled you to the next level. Without those losses, you wouldn't be where you're at today.
exactly. And I think that's the thing that holds so many people back, is like, I'm the conversation that I've had with clients, with just people in general, like, oh, I want to do what you do, so why aren't you?
Yeah.
I'm afraid of failing. But you don't fail, you
Listen, failure is
learn.
just a lesson in life that you're going to take into the next step of whatever you're doing. And if
Exactly.
you and that's why we did Kids in Biz, because we want to teach kids it's okay to fail at such a young age because they'll just get up and try harder. Adult right now, they'll just go in a corner and be depressed, and because they were never taught to have confidence in the failures that they created. You know,
Confidence in the
greatness comes from failure. You're not
yes.
able to succeed if you didn't fail.
Right.
There's art And kids are their imagination is so wild, but it can happen. I mean, we got self-driving cars now. We have
Right.
these are things that kids thought about when they were little. That us as parents was like, that's never gonna happen. Stop talking like that. Stop dreaming like that. Stop. No, let them dream.
Let them, and let them
Let
see
them.
what you do. There was a I saw it the other day. Someone had posted about it. It's like, I don't shoot my daughter out of the room when I do anything business related, and now it's to the point where she's managing me almost, because tell them about the LLC, tell them about
Mhm.
vision driven. Like, she's telling me what to say
Yeah.
in my meetings, because she sees me. She sees me working. She wants to be like, she in her mind, she's a YouTuber. Cool. Let's work on
Yeah.
that. Let's hone in on that. Let's make it a thing. And she practices and she does it all on her own, but it's because she's aware. She's exposed
He's
to it
exposed.
constantly. And a lot of kids don't have that. And it's a different part of the creativity that they need, and it's what
They
so
can
many adults
freely
lack.
express themselves.
Right. And so many adults lack that too. And that's also another problem with entrepreneurship. People want to be so cookie cutter. They want to be, well, they did it like this, so I'm just going to follow their. No, do it
Yeah.
like you.
Yeah.
Do what
That's it.
works for you. Be
Listen,
who
when
you
you
are.
exactly when you see me, I'm like this when I'm at work. I'm like this when I'm home. I'm like this when I'm at the club. I'm like this when I'm at church. This is me. You're never gonna see. I don't have imposter syndrome. You're never gonna see something different from me. I don't front. I don't do nothing. What you see is what you get, and you can't be scared to do that. Listen, you have to dream. I don't care what it is. My vision is huge for kids in biz,
Yeah.
right? Like Innovative Twist was my platform for people to know who I am, but also everybody needs what I offer. Every entrepreneur needs graphics. They need business cards. They need flyers. They need banners. So I believe God put me in that position to be able to provide all that stuff for my kids. And then when we do adults, when we do veterans, when we do felons, when we do homeless, like I'm already in that position. My dreams are big. I'm not stopping. I'm going to be worldwide. Like,
Yes.
I don't care what anybody says. I see it. I don't know if y'all see it, but I see it.
And
And
that's
it
all that
doesn't
matters.
matter. Right. So
That's all that matters.
we want kids to dream big, as big as you can,
Mm.
and not be scared to do it. And us as parents, encouraging that and not being mad if they decide they want to change on the spot. Like, Nick is a host, right? He's been hosting since he's 8 years old. If today he's like, I don't want to host no more, okay, cool.
What do you want to do
I'm
now?
not mad about it because you learned the lesson of confidence by
Right.
doing this. So what's next? What do you want to do?
And
But
he
then
will
you got
get up
them
in front of
parents,
anybody, and I love it.
right? You got the parents who they invest all this money and then they get mad and you're like, now you're forcing them to do something they're not passionate about. The lesson
Right.
was already learned. It's time to move on to the next thing.
Right.
You just have to allow them to be creative and do what they want to do.
And just like kids, as an adult, that same thing can happen. You can be doing something and then you can wear it out. You can get tired of it and you can move on to the next thing. When I started my own business, I was making cakes, and it was just something that I was good at. It was something that people saw that I could do. It was fun for me. And so, yeah, I make your cake. I do your cake. And I did that for about 5 years. And then I was like, you know what? I don't even have time to make cakes anymore, because in the process I had started vision driven. I had started building bosses. I had started all these other things that were really what I wanted to do. The cakes was just a means to an end. I was good at it and I could make money quick. Why not make some cakes? Why not throw a couple cupcakes in there?
Mm-hmm.
But once I got past the point that I had to do what I had to do and I could focus on what I wanted to do, that's when the real work began. That's when I really started spending hours and nights and days and money, on
Because
what I
you
was.
can't serve when you're trying to survive.
Right.
Because when you're surviving, you're just, yeah, I'll do that for you. Yeah, I'll do that for you.
Right.
But when
Take
are you
anything.
spending time on their project and putting that love into it and giving them your all but when you're surviving, you can't do that because you're wondering in the back of your mind, how am I going to pay the rent? How am I going to pay the light bill? So you're
Right.
just surviving.
You can be in survival mode in entrepreneurship, but you can't at the same time, because
Right.
you're not focused on your ideal client. You're not focused on, making the money. You're just kind of focused on making some money.
Yeah.
I want what I'm worth.
That's right.
If I'm taking you on as a client, if you're paying my fees, you are paying for me to give you my all. I'm not for everybody. I'm not
Nope.
everyone. It will never
Listen, you
be.
can fire your customers.
And
Please
you should.
understand, you can fire your customers. If they don't align with what you do, They gotta go. Not
Right.
everybody's for every. Listen, look at the bread aisle. How many breads are in the aisle? There's a specific one for me, and there's one for you, and there's one for someone else. There's not one bread for all of us.
Right.
There's just not.
You can look at my house. You can look at my pantry right now. We have gluten-free bread. We got wheat bread and potato bread because everybody eats something different, you know?
Exactly.
And everyone needs something different. So it's like there are oversaturated markets. I'm not going to sit there and act like they're not. But you will always stand apart if you stand in your authenticity and you are your true self. I got so much more attention when I was just me, as
Yeah.
opposed to trying to be this business professional, trying to be this, oh, I know what I'm talking about. Oh, don't mind my age. I'm still equipped and I'm still qualified. I was equipped and qualified when I was 24. That didn't
Yeah.
matter, you know, but I thought that I had to act more mature and be this thing. And no, you get this.
Exactly. Listen, I don't care if everybody's suited up. I'm not gonna be. I'm gonna be jeans and a blazer like I am right now. Like that's.
Yes,
This is who I am. I'm not changing because you think this is what I'm supposed to be.
right.
I'm just as successful as the guy with the suit on. He just enjoys wearing
Exactly.
suits, and I don't. You know. Yeah, I can wear them, but why? That's not me. I want to be comfortable. I want to be who I am,
And
so
that's
that
the thing.
you can relate to me. Because you're
Right.
like, oh, he's cool. Like he dressed that. Like I like that guy. Like he's not stuck up. He's approachable. Like that's what you want.
And it still leaves a lasting impression. I remember when I met you. I met you at one of Dig's events, one of her fashion shows, and I was vending cupcakes. And you came over with your wife, and y'all had just had the baby. It was the new baby,
Yep. Yep.
and you took like one cupcake, she took one, and then you gave me like $30, and you were like, whoever else buys the cupcake, that's for them. And I was just like, who is
Who
this
does
man
that?
who just paid for random people's cupcakes? What is going on? And then I think they shouted you out, and I was like, okay. And from there, I just started following you, and I was following, and I would see what you were doing, and I was like, I'm gonna order something. I'm just gonna see what happens if I order something. And it's like you were super personable. It was never like, oh, I'm too busy, or I'm too this, or I'm too that, or go through the website. And you were
Yeah.
always like, whatever you need, I got you. And that is important when you have your niche, when you have your thing, when you have your skill set, and you know you have it. You can move freely. You can
Yeah.
choose to, yeah, I'm gonna give you 100 free business cards, or yeah, I'm gonna do this. And I've never been to an event where you didn't give something away.
Listen, and that you know what's so cool about that is that's what we do, right? I know what it's like to be an entrepreneur, for one, so I know the struggle, right? But I love supporting people. Whether they support me or not doesn't matter to me. But guess what? You would have never forgot who I was. When you see me in the room again, you're gonna be like, yo, that guy right there, he did this, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the coolest part is we do I'm a sponsor of a fashion show every year, right? NJ Productions. And I'll spend $500 on raffle tickets. I win everything, obviously, because I bought all the tickets, right?
Right.
So my kids literally fight to give away what we win. We don't keep it, right? I'm supporting the program, and then I'm giving away. I mean, we've given away hotel rooms. We've given away everything that we, and my kids do it. Like people literally talk to our friend who does the show, and they're like, "Who is that? Like, whose kids really fight to give stuff away?" But that's what we taught, that we don't care about receiving. We want to give. And it
Right.
makes us so happy. My kids laugh. We all laugh. Like, we're like, oh, that's ours again. Hold on. And they run up there and they're like, okay, who wants it? And they give it away.
Yeah.
But it was so nice to see my kids adopt that. You know, it's just powerful to see those things. But that's who you get. Anywhere I go, I did it, I think, at your event, matter of
You
fact,
did.
with
At
the
Building
girls.
Bosses, you were like
Yeah.
this vendor and this vendor, the two kid vendors. You're like, if everyone in here buys a lip gloss from either one of them, I'm paying for it. Then you
Yeah.
came back and were doing some more stuff. Question: what I wanted to ask you before is not, I don't want to lose it. The transition. It's not even a transition because you have both. But what brought about the kids in biz? Was it your own personal kids? Was it just like your mentality about entrepreneurship? What was the drive behind that?
My own. So Nick was my biggest, when we did a fashion show, I think it's 3 years now, it was on, I had my nonprofit since 2008, never did anything with it, just kept it current. And me and the wife were talking one day and we're like, let's do a fashion show. So we called our friend up. She's like, all right. The next day, she's like, all right, this is what we're doing. Had everything set up. We had literally a month to get ready to do a show at the Chesapeake Conference Center. So, Beck G sets up the interview on TV. So it's me, Nick, and my youngest daughter. My youngest daughter's crying. It's first time on TV. Nick's excited. He just wants to get up there and touch the mic, you know. So my youngest, she's crying. We got to call in mom. Mom comes and, gets her through that. Now, Nick is like, can I touch the mic? And we're like, sure. But before that, we did the auditions at Pembroke. And he's like, can I host it? In my mind, I'm like, yeah. I tell him, yeah. But in my mind, I'm like, come game day, he's going to be like, no, I can't do it. Oh, nah, he killed it. He roasted the judges. Like, he didn't know them, but he was roasting them. And so then we did the audition, we went on TV. And then he was like, can I touch the mic? So now he's on TV. And he got to say something. And that was it. And then he was like, can I do the show? And I'm like, yeah, this is your show. Anything I'm doing is yours. So let's go. So I was like, what do you want to be called? He's like, Nikki Styles. I'm like, okay, what do? We do a logo, right? Then he does the show, kills it. Now he's excited. People are interested in him. Cool. Then the relationships I got, that's another key thing. Business is all about relationships. So now I'm able to call my boy who does the MMA fights at the Tech Concert Center every 3 months. And I'm like, yo, would you let my son host, introduce one of the fighters? He's like, sure. We do it. At this time, we didn't have his look down, nothing, had a suit on, baggy, but he goes in there. And he was amazing, like the hands, the yelling, the facial expressions. And so it was like, okay, I see. He likes this. So now, the next day, we're at the suit store. Now we're getting you GQ'd now. Now we're getting you blazers and jeans and sneakers. Like, that's the style we're going with you for anything that you do. So now we got then another customer. I'm like, I'm doing a flyer for her, and I'm like, hey, my son's an event host. He's 8 years old. You want to try him? She's like, yeah. Now he's hosting with Earl Bynum and Matt, I think it's Matt Dog. And I mean, again, he's doing a award show with hundreds of people, the mayor, the sheriffs, like these. It wasn't a little one, and everybody's just talking about him. He was so good on the mic, and then we just kept going, just making the calls, calling Kim one day and be like, hey, the Mount does their thing at the TED for New Year's, right? Last minute, I'm printing for something for Kim. We don't know what we're doing for New Year's Eve. I'm like, Kim, my son's a host. Let me send you something real quick. See if you can get him to do something on New Year's Eve. Because they already gave us a suite, because we print for them. So she's like, all right, let me send it over. Sends it. They're like, yeah, he's in. Sound check is at 6 o'clock. I need him there. On the spot, we just did Vanilla Ice, Ice Baby,
Wow.
But being able to have those relationships and people being able to trust me and know that I'm not bringing something that's going to be negative to their name, right? So it gave me the publicity that my son needed to allow him to do what he likes to do, and that's talk on a mic,
Yeah.
And from that day, when we did that our fashion show, me and my wife cried because of the confidence that these girls and boys created. Like, they were shy. The sisters wouldn't leave each other's side, But when it was game day, the girls went in the back with no adult saying anything. It was like, hey, let's pray before we go out there. You know how powerful that was to hear that?
Yes.
So that was the first one. Then it was the one girl just got scared and she couldn't pray in front of everybody on stage. So my ex-wife daughter, who I had in the fashion show, was like, I'll do it. And we're like, okay, come on. And she killed it. We gave her the platform, right, to be able to introduce you and expose you to this so that if you want to do it, you know what it's like. Then the girls were walking down that were shy, and they walked that stage like they owned it. And me and my wife were just bawling and like, this is what we need. That confidence, that self-esteem, like their lives changed after that day. So that's when Kids in Biz came, because before that it was called Inspirational Growth. And then, I was talking to my boy and I'm like, oh, this is what I want to do. He's like, we need to change the name. He's like, we need to do Kids in Biz. And the only reason why is because I want people to know what we're doing as soon as they hear the name. So from there, that's what we did. We started the branding, and I got my, everything's been falling into place. I mean, you've been at the location, and we post black and white pictures, but when we launch,
It's gonna
people
be
will
so dope.
understand this is my prototype. So we're so, like, we can't wait. And then my curriculum too, right now, that's what we're working on now. I'm not sugarcoating it for kids like you see right now. You can Google Kidpreneur, and it's all sugar-coated stuff. They don't teach
Hmm.
you business.
Right. They just teach you how to smile with your products and
Right. No, I want you to understand why Apple does this. Why the whatever does what they do, and why they chose those colors, and why they keep saying the same message over and over
hmm
again. They're never steering away from this specific message, right? I want you to understand that, because you can introduce that to your life. So our curriculum goes deep. It ain't. This is like, it's. I could teach adults off of my curriculum.
you might need
Because
to.
it's the only way I can make an impact, by teaching them and them
Yeah.
understanding business. Like, I need you to really, they're making money before they even graduate our program. And we're doing it so that it's hands-on. Every step of
hmm
the way, we're actually doing what we're teaching you. So you're not just waiting to the end and then you graduate and now you're on your own and I hope you get it. No, this is a partnership. We're in this together
Right.
for life, because the more I can help kids succeed, the more I can change the generational curses, the more I can change the world, the more I can show kids that there's more than just college and sports. And even when you go to sports and college, entrepreneurship is still in the middle of all that. You got
Yes.
these sports, NFL players, NBA. Yeah, you get all this money, but by the time you're out, you're broke because you didn't know what to do.
Anybody broke down. So
Right. Take your money and invest it in you. You are
hmm
a brand. Innovate Twist is Innovate Twist, but I am a brand.
right.
Everybody is a brand. Own
Everybody
it.
is a brand. I need people to understand that. Like you are always going to be the first line of defense for your brand, for your business, for what people see you. Your
Yeah.
attitude, your demeanor, your tone, how you present yourself. Like if you come up to somebody and your head is down and you're like, oh hey, and you kind of stuck up, they're not gonna want to do business with you. They're not even gonna care what kind of business you have because of what kind of person you presented yourself to be. Your personality
Exactly.
is a part of your brand because even when you start doing your consulting and everything, people want to see them in their
Yep.
logos, in their websites.
Yep.
Like I tell people all the time, this is not me. It's not enough of me. It needs to be a little bit more quirky. It needs to be a little bit more fun. I need a little bit
Yeah.
more color here and there. Like that's not people are not gonna know that's me because that doesn't look anything like what I would put out. You know, and
Yep.
that's
It's
important
huge.
because
So important.
your
So
personality has to
important.
match your brand. If you got this bright, vivid brand, but you or yourself are just kind of like a blah person,
Yeah. Now you're just doing it for money. You're not doing it
right?
because it's who you are. I should be able to look at all your advertising pieces and know, oh, she's funny. Like, I got to do business with her because I
Right.
can tell by what you're doing
Right.
and how
The
you
content
look,
that
your
you put
photos,
out.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you always in a photo like this,
Right.
I'm like, I'm
Like,
gonna I'm gonna
I
think
wouldn't
you
hire you. If you
right.
was a real estate agent like that, right? I wouldn't hire you because we're not going to connect. I
Right.
need you to be goofy. I don't want the standard. I'm different.
Right.
I need you to be different. We do
Right.
things different. So I'm looking for that person, and anything that I do that I want, I just, you have to be different.
You have to be.
You
And
have to.
that's the whole thing, especially with entrepreneurship. Pride yourself on standing apart. You have to stand apart. You have to stand out. And it doesn't have to be a gimmick. It doesn't have to be
Yeah.
something that you made up. It doesn't have to be some facade that you put on to get clients. You just have to be yourself.
Listen, it's so simple. I remember I was talking to a real estate agent, right? But she did jujitsu too. I was like, yo, you need to do a photo shoot where it's half real estate and half jiu-jitsu outfit. That's your target.
Yes.
Anybody who does that, guess what? They're going to call you because you have something else in common. You
Mm-hmm.
literally could talk about jiu-jitsu. But for someone to see that would have been like, whoa, this is dope. Like, oh, yeah, I got to do business with her because
Right.
she's just different.
Or just
The,
off the sheer fact that it's something different. Like I just want to call and see what she's talking about.
right.
Like
Like, listen, and people, it's so easy to stand out.
it is.
You already stand out. You just have to implement it in what you do.
Right.
So
That's it.
easy. Yeah.
You don't
You
have
know?
it's not a whole bunch of tricks and whistles and bells.
No.
It's Hard work is your personality, and it's what you envision for your life.
That's it.
You make the plan, you attack that plan, and you stand in your uniqueness, you stand in your authenticity. People will
That's it.
come, the people will come, they're always out there, and they're usually waiting. They're usually waiting for that person that they come across and like, oh, I click with this person. Oh, something about them makes me feel warm and fuzzy. I want to tell you my whole life, or whatever. And
And
that's the
that's
person you do business with.
listen, you said another key part. Tell your story. People are scared to tell their stories because whether you got abused, whether you were in a domestic violence situation, whether your parents were addicts, whether doesn't matter because that created who you are today. And there's
Exactly.
people going through the exact same thing that need to hear that you did it.
And you came out right.
Yes, you can't be the person who's like, I can't tell my story until I'm up here. Your
Right.
story matters right now. The day that you got out of your rut is the day that your story mattered. That was the day you became successful.
Right.
Not when you have that magic number. Everyone's like, once I make $1 million, once I had that big mansion, that yacht. No. How many of us can literally live off of $500,000, $250,000? Listen, stop trying to chase $1 million.
Listen.
Stop. $1 million is $1 million problems too. Live
Exactly.
within your means. You can live a good lifestyle if you're a minimalist with $250,000.
Easy.
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 Tell your story. Your story has so much power,
Right.
and you're saving lives just by telling your stories. It doesn't matter how bad you could have been to jail. You could have sold drugs. Doesn't matter. There's people that need to connect with you.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that we go through in life is so we can preach and teach to others and help them get through what they go through.
Listen.
But if you don't tell your story, they might not be here tomorrow.
Right. People need to hear it. It's not a shameful thing. It's who you are. Your past does not define you. Who you say you are and who you know to be is what defines you. You can ask me anything about my life. You can ask me anything about what I've done, what I've been through. Yes, I had a whole restaurant fail after 6 months.
Yeah.
And I'm still here. I'm still kicking.
Right.
I'm still breathing.
But you learn from that.
Right. And 2 weeks later, I was in my next venture because I knew everything that I did wrong in this first time. I'm like, all right, boom. And when I hit another roadblock, you move over that. I'm going to tell y'all while I'm in it. I'm going to tell y'all when I get over it because we in this thing together. And
but
you
those things put you where you are today.
Right.
Without those, you wouldn't be where you're at today because you didn't know what it was like to fail. You didn't know what it was like to get up and do something else, knowing that you just lost all this money. Okay. It was a learning experience. What do you want me to do? You know?
It's done.
And the biggest thing is we don't have people holding our hands, walking through us through any of this.
Right.
That was another reason we created Kids in Biz, because we believe that it will generate a bunch of mentors to help these kids. I wish, imagine if you knew what you knew now when you were 8 years old. Where would you be?
Rich.
Exactly. That's everybody. I don't care what they say. They be multi-millionaires, billionaires, because you learned at such a, you have, when you're a kid, you're not worrying about bills. You literally have from 8 to 18, all them years to play.
To do whatever.
You ain't got nothing to lose. So all the lessons you're learning is great. But you gotta just be willing to do it. So there's nothing to be shameful. And having mentors, man, holding them through the process and getting them ahead. Like, VA is a weird market because people just feel like you're going to steal their clients. Listen, I'll teach you everything I know. I don't care. God gave me my own vision.
Exactly.
So you can't hurt my business.
Exactly.
I'm meant to do what I do because God told me so. So if you want to learn what I do, come on. Right. You know how many people I help with t-shirt stuff and getting in print. I taught someone literally everything I know about print, and they do it to this day, and they try to backstab me. They try to take customers. Guess what? It didn't work because I built relationships and because I'm personable and because of this is who I am. So guess what? They weren't leaving. I don't care if your prices were better. They know what they get when you deal with me. You can call me and be like, Josh, I got an emergency. I need something tomorrow. You know it's going to get done.
And it's going to be quality.
Exactly. So, don't be scared to share your information. Here, that's the biggest thing I see. So with kids, guess what? I'm creating that culture of being able to share, collaborate, being able to depend on them, being able to build their own community Why? Because you can be different.
Right.
Right? Bullying is all because you're different. Guess what? We can help with that. We can eliminate bullying by letting them know you can be different. This is where you need to be. This is the world for you.
Listen, we all different here. Come
Right?
on.
We're all different. Please tell me, like, let's have a conversation, because you're gonna think of something totally different than I would, and it might make the difference in my business.
Right.
And that's what we need. We need people to get together once a month, twice a month, just to talk. What are you struggling with? What am I struggling with?
Right.
Just because
Let's
I've been in
brainstorm.
business
Let's
for
talk about
16
this.
years doesn't mean I know everything. Doesn't
Right.
mean I don't struggle.
Right.
Doesn't mean I almost lost it all. Doesn't mean, any of that. So guess what? You might be coming up to that phase that I already went through. Don't be ashamed to talk about where you're hurting right now, because there's someone who can help you. So creating that community where we can all get along and just literally sit on a round table and talk. That's all we're doing. Man, last month, this is where I was hurting. What do y'all think? What should I do? Where should I change what I'm doing? It can make the difference in your business by just talking to like-minded people who
Yes.
probably already been there.
Yes.
Where is that? These chambers don't do that. The networking events for me it's a party. Yes, your first two, you're networking, but after that, now it's just a social.
Right,
It's the
because you know
same people,
everybody now.
right? And
Like,
it's the same people. So what are you learning? You know, it just needs to be different. Just got to be
it
different.
does. I agree. And that's part of the reason why I started doing doing the lessons, creating a platform and creating a space. Vision Driven, when I started it back in 2017, was supposed to be a platform for new and aspiring entrepreneurs so they could come together and grow and learn and develop and create. And when I put it out there initially, it didn't work. It wasn't well received. People didn't feel like it was something that was needed. I sold like one ticket, had two vendors, lost like $1,500 real quick. And it was in that failure though that I created Building Bosses, because it's like I already got the space, I already got the food, I already got all these things. I need to do something, and my mom was like, "Oh, the kids, help the kids," and I was like, "Oh, yes, the kids." But now it's like I must always help the kids. That's my heart. That's my passion.
Yeah.
But I still feel like there is a need for this safe space for these
So let
adults who are
so let me
wanting.
tell
They
you what
want
you were
to.
missing. What you have now. All the
Right.
right people in all the right places.
And I failed
That's what you were. Yes.
several
But
times.
now you have the people that can talk about finances, the people who can
Mm-hmm.
talk about branding, people who really live this.
Right.
Yes, I can create anything, but what do you got to show and prove that you know what you're talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Now you have that.
Yeah.
When we did Building Bosses and everyone you had on stage, I was in the audience. I was just there to participate and have my son involved, and I like going to support, right? So I'm listening to all the speakers and they're giving good things and they're telling their stories. But for me, when I got up and I had something to say, it was because every story I felt like wasn't speaking to the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Their stories more spoke to the adults in the room, where these kids are like, what do we do? Like, talk to me as a kid so that I can relate. And, and then you asked me to come up there. And I remember after that, I mean, me and my son are leaving and we have 15 people like, hey, can we take a picture of you? Hey, can we, like, oh, your shoes are cool. Can we do that? Like, and that was like, okay, this is what we need. But now those same people could speak to adults
Mm-hmm.
because they've been there. It was just the wrong audience for them at that time.
Right.
Right? Now, when you do your event again for the adults, they're coming.
Mm-hmm.
I had so many people like, when are you going to do an event? Like, I've been wanting to do them. I just think different. So mines are a little bit different than what I've seen
Yours
people
are like
do.
audience.
Right. And there's a strategic way to do it too.
Right. It takes
I
time.
don't want to just have people speak on what they're good at. There's an order, because if I can teach you in the order, then you can follow the steps a lot easier.
Mm-hmm.
But if I say, okay, you need to get your LLC, then you got to do your branding, then we got to work on communications, then we got to work on sales. But if I start off with sales and then go to financing and then go to branding, it's all out of order.
Mm-hmm.
So your mind isn't even in order. I need that checklist to be like this in your mind. So I need to put everything like this for you. So it's easy to follow, right?
Yeah.
And that's what people do different, But now you have all the missing pieces. You've been in the game, you failed, you went past that and found other things that you're great at. Now your platform is ready for you. Sometimes our platforms aren't ready.
Right.
Like I would never think that I never thought I would be doing what I do. I never thought I would be coaching. I never thought that I would be doing kids and biz, you know, but I'm ready now. Like your event was the first time I ever spoke publicly. You know how scared I was?
No, because you didn't act
No.
like it at all.
Right. But I was sweating. I'm like, I'm really up here. I'm really about to speak. But my son can do this. I can do this. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what pushed me. Seeing my son being able to do it gave me the confidence to do it. I'm like, oh, I can do this. I got this. I help him do his stuff. I got this.
Yeah.
And from that, the doors just opened and opened and opened because the information I was putting out there, I lived it for 16 years. I have over 3,000 customers that I see every pain point that was coming through. And I'm like, man, you've been in business 5 years and you still don't have a retractable, a tablecloth. Your presence isn't that great. Like, okay, I see the problems. Now how do I fix them?
Right.
Right? By having a conversation. That's all I do. And that conversation creates so much word of mouth. I'll use Yomo Bucko, for instance, right? He
Yeah.
can't I love him, right? He comes to me, he's like, Josh, am I worrying you? I'm like, no. Yo, you have my text me. I don't care.
Right.
Right? He came to talk about shirts. He left with a whole different perspective of his whole business, you know. But he literally refers me to everybody, like because I was genuine.
Mm-hmm.
People learn so much with speaking with me in 10 minutes than they did their whole time in business. Because no one spends the time to really understand what they want to do, where they want to be, who they want to reach.
Right.
When you can take the time to really understand your customer, you gain so much more. I have a loyal customer for life. Yama
Mm-hmm.
Bucko won't go nowhere because he
Right.
knows anytime he comes to me, I'm an open book. Ask me anything. He's like, Josh, what do you think about this? I'm gonna be like, listen, this is my opinion. And I tell him, you are worth money now. Stop doing stuff for
Big
free.
dollars. Yes.
Yeah, stop doing it for free. People are going to use you because you don't know any better. You
Mm-hmm.
don't know what you don't know, right? But now I planted that seed in his head. He's like, oh, no, I got thousands of followers. I have hundreds of people who watch my live.
Every
I'm
time.
advertising your business, and you just want to give me a plate of food and think that's even? No, I'm bringing you business. You're
Right.
at least making
Guaranteed business.
exactly. I show up and I say, hey, I'm showing up over here. I'm going to have some Yemo Bucko friends be there with me.
Right.
So that's what you're paying for.
Mm-hmm.
You're not paying for nothing else but who I am. I told him, you walk in and you start demanding who you are now. It's not, hey, can I? No. Hey, I'm Yemo Bucko. I'm a food blogger. I have hundreds of, like, you have to walk in that confidence. And when you walk in that confidence, you'll see everything start changing and everything going to where you want to be. It's always have the end goal in mind and know how to get there. People
Right.
don't think that far ahead.
They
They
think day
don't.
by day or step by step, as opposed to no,
Right.
you have to have the whole plan.
No.
Yeah, it might deviate. Some things might not work, and that's fine. But if you know
But we're
your
gonna get
whole
right back on
plan,
that path
right?
somewhere.
If you know, okay, step six right here, that didn't work. Cool, but we going right back to step seven. We gonna get right back on track. We're gonna do exactly what we needed to do to get where we are set to go. Like
Yeah.
people, like I want to make money, or I want to be an entrepreneur because I don't want to work for anybody else. Okay, that's
Yeah.
cool and all,
But
but
is
is
that all you
that
want to do?
right? How are you going to do that?
Right.
How are you going to
Right.
be your own boss? How are you going to
That
make
that's never the answer. The never is I want to make my own money. I want to no. What are you solving? Tell me what you're
right?
solving.
What are
Tell me
you
the
doing?
lifestyle you want to live. Do you want to be on the beach, chilling, working once a day? Okay, cool. What does it take to get there?
Right,
Now you got to do research. Now you got to be like, okay, this is what it takes to live that lifestyle. This is how much money I got to make. But the business I'm creating is solving this problem that I go through all the time. I want to be able to still wake up and be passionate about what I do. I love
exactly.
what I do. So I'm not dreading going to work. I'm excited to go to work because I'm helping somebody today.
Mm-hmm.
Understanding the process is what is needed. It's crazy.
across the board. Kids,
Yeah,
adults, everybody. You
absolutely.
have to understand the process. You have to understand the order of operation for this thing, because there's a serum. There's a way that you go about this thing. Hey Nick, he just said hi, Dad.
That's my boy.
Yes. And
There's
you
a
know what, Twist? We could go on all night, because I know us and I know the
yeah.
conversations that we've had before. But what one thing do you really want the people to take away just in this moment?
To stop. Okay, here's what people do. Right? They just give you a handout. Right? In life. Right? They just keep giving you a little bit. Let's use homelessness. Right? You got all the organizations that feed you, they clothe you, they shelter you, right? But that's just giving. What are you doing to eliminate the problem?
Mm-hmm.
You have to start thinking about what it is, and I want you to put me out of business. I'm going to teach you entrepreneurship so that you're never homeless again. I want to be put out of business. That means there's never going to be a homeless person again because I did my job. Yes, they need clothing, they need shelter, but it's a handout. How do we get them out of that? We got to change people's mindsets to understand that, yes, we need to help them, but think bigger. I need you to
Mm-hmm.
know how to get rid of the problems that we're having, whether it's drug and alcohol, whether it's homelessness, what doesn't matter. Look at it as I'm building something that's going to put me out of business. And guess what? You will be known for the rest of your life for eradicating the biggest problem in the world. You'll always have a job. You'll always be able to create something and go to the next thing. Think big. Don't think small. Stop thinking of, I'm just going to do this when this is a bigger problem. Go for the big problem and solve that. That's
Yeah.
what we need to do in life, in business, in everything. When you go to school, it's the same concept. What is the big problem? Oh, I'm going here because I want to make six figures. Or no, what is the problem that you're joining that field?
Right.
You know,
Why?
you want to be an attorney because so many innocent people are going to jail. How do we solve that?
Right.
That's the bigger problem. So I'm going to be an attorney because I see this as a problem and I want to fix that.
Mm-hmm.
I
That
want to start a
why.
business because I see this as the problem and I want to get rid of that.
Find the
That's
solution to
think
the problem.
big and think big. Find a
And
solution and think big.
right.
Listen, God's going to put everybody you need in your path. I
Every
promise you.
time.
I promise
Every
you. It
time.
may look like, how am I going to achieve this? Listen, with kids and biz, the outpouring I get, and I'm not even promoting yet. I've got PR companies calling like, I want to do free PR. We got my boy Joey Yak doing our theme song, and he used to tour with Bone Thugs and Harmony. He's like, yo, I've been looking something to get behind. He does things for Grant Cardone, Brad, like these billionaires that
Mm-hmm.
he's ready to talk about because he understands that if he had this when he was little, he'd be so much farther in life.
Right.
So it's literally thinking big. I'm like, how am I going to reach a million kids? How am I going to? I don't ask that anymore. I'm like, what's next?
Mm-hmm.
What's next? After I do this, what's next? Adults. What's after that? Veterans. I need to hit them before they even get out the military because guess what? I seen the problem when I got out. Couldn't get a
Right.
job.
You
So
saw
guess
the
what?
problem.
I'm going to teach you how to start a business before you get out. So when you transition out, you're already making money from your business.
Mm-hmm.
What am I going to do? I'm changing mindsets. Even with our kids, we need to start telling our kids, when they ask, what do you want to be? My oldest was like, hey, I want to be a nanny and live in New York because they make a lot of money. Not understanding the cost of living is super expensive. That's why you make a lot more. But check this out. All I said was, well, what if we open up a daycare, you hire an administrator, you get to travel the world, and you make 10 times as much money? Wait, I can do that?
Right.
Yes, right now we can do that. Literally shifting that mindset to understand, stop thinking like an employee,
Mm-hmm.
think like the boss.
Exactly.
That's it.
Boss is looking to hire the people to do the work, not doing them themselves.
Right. You want to travel the world? You want to do this? This is how you do it. But
Mm-hmm.
they're not exposed to that type of thinking. They're exposed to go to college, get a good job, take care of your family.
Right.
Most people don't even get to enjoy their life because they're too busy taking care of their family. I don't want that for kids anymore. I don't want kids that have to worry about being the man of the house. being, I don't want that for y'all no more. I want y'all to be able to take care of yourselves and take care of mom and dad because you're making so much money at a young age.
Right. I'm ready for Ari to be famous. Come on, girl.
Right. Exactly.
Let's
But she
go.
won't get there if you're not exposing her to it, right?
Right.
If you just telling her you got to go to college, get good grades, and take care of your family, how's she going to make you that? How's she going to do that?
Right.
But because now she gets to see your entrepreneurship, she's exposed to a lot more. But
Mm-hmm.
now when you bring her around other people, not just you, other businesses, she's be like, oh, whoa, this is a whole different thing too. And learning from everybody.
Right.
Taking what you see, you take what you like and get rid of the rest. Everybody does things differently.
Everybody.
But exposing our kids, even adults now, to the world of entrepreneurship is the best thing you can do to anybody.
Yes. All those things. This has been like
I love talking about this, so I could talk
I
for
know.
hours.
I know, and I love when you do talk about it because you always drop knowledge, you always drop gems. It's always good conversation, and you know that you just mean this thing. It's from your heart.
Yeah.
You have a heart for the people, and I think that's why I gravitate towards you so much because I have a heart for the people too. I just want people to win, but I want
That's
them to do it the
good.
right way. I don't want if you win one time, that money's gonna be gone. That
Right.
opportunity is gonna be gone. But if I can teach you how to win and win big and continue to win, or take that winning and flip it so that it works for you for the rest of your life, we good.
Listen, you won and I won because I
Right.
did what I
Everyone's
felt in my
good.
heart to do. That's it. And
How
you'll
can the
never
people
forget me. And you'll never
exactly
forget
and
me
you
if I
never
taught you how to
forget me?
win. Yeah.
How can the people reach you?
Everything innovative twist. And
Everything.
then everything. And then kids
Literally.
and biz, everything kids and biz right now. Again, everything's black and white because we're waiting for the grand opening for everybody to really see. We're gonna do a video. The website will be live soon because I know people are gonna want. That's why I really don't talk about it much because I know they're gonna look for me, and I
Mm-hmm.
want them to be able to see and read and understand what we're doing. And you've seen it. It's powerful.
It's
The
so
energy in the
dope.
space is amazing, and I want it to be perfect, and that's why I'm not in a rush.
Right.
I'm not in a super rush because I'm on God's time, and I want it to be perfect. I don't
Mm-hmm.
want no hiccups. This is a game changer worldwide,
Yes.
right? So if I just do it because I want to do it right now, which I do, I literally would love to open the doors of all. I need it perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And it's getting there. It's almost ready. Like we're getting there, and it's so amazing. I love the response we get. I love, how people just love it,
Yeah. Look.
and they're like, I want to volunteer, whatever you need.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I love because they're not giving me their time and their services because of me. It's because of the mission of helping kids. Like
Right.
they're all like, where can I volunteer? What do you need? How much do you need? Like. And that's what I love about it because they know the mission and the vision
Right.
with the kids.
And we could go
And
back
they,
into it, but that's part of
yeah,
telling your story. When people know your
yeah,
mission and your vision and why you're doing what you're doing, they're going to support it if it's standing on something, if it really means something,
they're always looking for something to attach themselves to.
Right, especially something meaningful. When we started doing the lunches last year, people were coming from left and right and up and down and out the woodwork because they wanted to be attached to something bigger than themselves. They wanted to feel like they were helping, even if they couldn't physically be there. Like
$5 made a difference in
$5.
someone's home, like,
Yeah,
and they felt like they made a difference.
right.
When you made your big difference, they knew they had a piece of that, and that
It's
made them feel good.
every time. Every time.
Yep,
You
yep.
you don't lose that way. You never lose that way.
Never. Because you're not doing it for money. That's the key. Don't do things for money. Do it because you love to do it and because you're passionate, and then the money comes. That's
The
what people don't
money will
understand.
come. The
Stop
money will
chasing
come.
money.
If
Yes. And
people don't hear anything else from this whole conversation, please listen. The money will come. You're going to give away some stuff for free. You're going to lose some money because being in business starts usually in debt unless you've been planning for this thing for a minute. You're going to lose some money starting out. There's a lot of money that goes into entrepreneurship. It's not just, oh, let me spend $75 on an LLC. That's just a piece of paper.
yeah.
To get the products, to get the materials, to get the marketing, to get the website, to get your name out there, all that costs money. Networking is free,
Yeah.
but good networking is going to cost you because you need those business cards. You need the shirt. You
Yeah.
need something. So it's not, the money is going to come when your and why is that important to you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Stop chasing
Again,
that money.
yeah, don't do it.
Don't do it. And you'll
This,
see. If you're chasing money right now, tomorrow I want you to stop chasing money and watch what happens.
right.
I promise you.
Give something away.
I
Give something away.
promise you. Do what you love to do and don't expect money from it. It's what we do in life, not just business, in life. Help people that you're led to help. You'll be rewarded. I promise. I don't do it for recognition. I do so much that people don't know about because I don't do it for recognition. I
Mm-hmm.
do it because it makes my heart full. It
Right.
makes me proud to say I was a part of that. It makes me proud that my kids see what I do. That's all. I only care what my kids see
Right.
because I got to raise them to be great people like me at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Try
That's
it and
it.
watch what happens. For everybody who's listening, who's chasing money, stop chasing it and just do.
And just see what happens.
That's it.
Just see what happens.
And you're
Report
going to be
back.
like, Lindsey, guess what? Josh, guess what? We'll be like, we told you. I'm trying to tell you the secret.
Right. It's like it's not even that big of a secret. Just
Exactly.
do what you love and the money will
Yep.
come.
Yep.
Your gifts will always make room for you. Always. They'll pay
Right.
all your bills
Your intentions got to be pure.
every time.
Set the intentions of what you want to do. That's it. Set the
Mm-hmm.
intentions. And
Set the
you'll see.
intentions. It's easy. I promise y'all. If you're watching right now, it's not as hard as you make it seem. The money will come, and when it comes, it'll come in influx. Like you be like,
Yeah.
oh, I need another bank account. Like, oh, let me open a second savings. Let me invest in some stocks because it'll be there when it's time for it to be there. So you keep getting me going.
I know.
Stop
I'm
it.
going to stop. Listen, y'all just need to watch out for me and Lizzie. We're going to do an event, and we're going to teach y'all how to really do a business. We're going to
Yes.
bring her business back. That's what we're
Yes.
going to do.
We're gonna do it
So
right.
that's right. So once COVID, we got to plan that because it's got to be in person. I'm an in person. I don't
I
want to do
know.
virtual.
Listen,
I
can
need
I
to
tell you
do
this virtual thing is killing me?
it. Yeah, I can't do it. I want you to feel my energy. I want you to see
Yes.
it. I want to be able to talk to you. I want to see your tears. I want to see your laughs. Like we got
Right.
to do it in person, So we need to plan that because I'm ready to do a couple, you know. Yeah, I'm ready.
I love me a good event with
Yeah,
some solid information and some good people. I'm always
yeah.
down for that.
And I'm
That's
all
my
down to
thing.
have fun. Like my thing is making it fun. It ain't no dry, boring. We can sit here and just no. Y'all better be ready to party, laugh, dance around, get up. Like no, we going in.
Yes, I'm here for
So
it. I'm down.
yeah.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Josh Twist, for
Thank you for
joining
having me.
me tonight. This was an awesome conversation. This was a great time. I hope that whoever watched, whoever tuned in, and whoever catches it on the replay really gets something from this, really understands the value of entrepreneurship and what it really means. Like, even if you don't ever become an entrepreneur, just to know the skills and the mindset behind it is so important just to
Yep.
life, because you
Yep.
never know. This last year is a whole testament to that. You could lose your job
Yep.
and the
And
whole
what do you
world
have to
stop.
fall back on?
And you
Yep.
have to have something to fall back on. You have to then rely on your instinct and your skill to survive. And entrepreneurship will help with that. Or just having that mindset will help
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
survive the long game every time.
Yep. And
So
listen, I'm an open book. Y'all know how to get me. Ask me whatever you want. And if I don't know, I know people who do. So
exactly.
that's it.
Exactly. That's the whole point. I appreciate you this evening. I know you are a very busy man with a whole lot to do.
I got
And
to jump on Clubhouse and moderate my room that I was late for. So
see, there we go. Tell your family I said, hey, I miss your wife. That's my friend.
I know.
And
And Gray's waiting for his little buddy to come and
I
have a
know
play
we
date
gotta get
again.
them back together. Ari's like, can we go to the nice office? The kid office? Yes. We're gonna have to come back to the kid office.
Gray loves it.
But we will work all that out so very soon. I thank you for
Yeah.
your time. You enjoy your evening and the rest of your week, and we will be
Will
doing
do.
some good work here soon.
All
You
right.
have a good one.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, everybody, for tuning in. I'll see y'all next week.
Yeah. Later.
Bye.